Why is it that Jesse Plemons always gets cast as creeps or arseholes? Or creepy arseholes? Todd in Breaking Bad. That pretentious dick from I'm Thinking of Ending Things. The weird police officer from Game Night. The psychotic starship captain in that episode of Black Mirror. I want Jesse Plemons to star in the next Paddington movie. Give him a break for once. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. And on today's video I'm going to be talking about a film that is finally getting its release in the UK. I've been wanting to see it for ages. It's been generating a lot of potential Oscar buzz, and that is Judas and the Black Messiah. Lakeith Stanfield plays William O'Neill, a car thief who is caught by the FBI and blackmailed into infiltrating the Black Panther Party, exposing their weaknesses and divulging details of their plans to his FBI handlers in order for the government to eliminate them. Now, in terms of the Black Panther Party, there was another film in this current awards season that briefly touched on the topic, and that was The Trial of the Chicago 7 by Aaron Sorkin, although this film dives into much more detail. Daniel Kaluuya stars as Fred Hampton, chairman of the Illinois Black Panther Party, and across their city, their state, and pretty much their country, well, in the late 60s, early 70s, racial tensions between police and black Americans had never been higher. And Shaka, who serves as both a writer and director for the film, is painting a horrifying, true description of the lengths that the government went to dismantle this organization that was fighting against their oppression. Everything about King's direction is imbued with passion, but also anger. There are a lot of instances in the film where it's going to make you, as the audience, feel sick to your stomach that these events unfolded as they did. Now, in terms of performances, I mean, everyone here is sensational. The name on everyone's lips right now is Daniel Kaluuya, who they could not be more right about this. Kaluuya gives, quite comfortably, the greatest performance of his career. A career that, well, let's face it, it's still early days, and yet it's filled with amazing turns in films such as Get Out and Widows. He is simply magnetic, especially in a number of scenes where he's giving these very impassioned speeches to a crowd, and you can feel both the audience in the crowd and you watching it wherever you may be are hanging off of every word he is saying. He is such a presence in this movie, and I think in terms of portraying Fred Hampton and what Fred Hampton stood for, I think that this was a really groundbreaking performance for him. I think it's pretty much a lock now that Kaluuya is going to nab the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. I mean, I guess an argument could be made that it's more of a lead actor performance, but hey, that's how you play the game that is the Academy Awards. Now, my one worry for probably about the opening half an hour of the film was that it seemed fairly tentative to explore the human behind the icon of Fred Hampton. But thankfully, that's where Dominique Fishback's Deborah Johnson comes into play. Her relationship that develops with Hampton brings out a lesser seen side, displaying his more reserved and empathetic attitude rather than his anthem-driven personality shown in a public setting. And I thought Fishback served as the real heart of the movie, which makes the final moments of the film even more devastating. As for Lakeith Stanfield, he's already becoming one of my favourite actors. He's a real bright star, and I thought that he was great here. His character's overall narrative does feel a bit unoriginal in terms of someone infiltrating a group to expose them, but then ultimately sympathising with their aims. But Stanfield is at his best when he is portraying that internalised conflict that his character is going through, where he knows that no matter what decision he makes, someone is going to end up getting hurt. My only real critique when it comes to the performance is that it isn't really anything to do with the actors themselves, but when you look into this true story a bit more, these guys were kids. Fred Hampton was 21 when he was assassinated, and so, in my opinion, I feel like if you had casted more age-appropriate actors in these roles, the emotional impact, in my opinion, I think would have been even more significant. I also thought that the first hour of the film really took its time to get going. It focuses primarily on Stanfield's character infiltrating the party and settling in, his loyalties and intentions are tested, someone recognizes him that can threaten to blow the whole case, and the motions that they go through I've seen time and time again, and so in terms of the intensity, I didn't think that it was as high as it could have been, at least in the first hour, but by the time we get into the second hour, man, this movie explodes. Sequences of all-out war are really well executed. This is, I think, King's second feature film that he's directing, and it's really, really impressive. It's far more violent as well than I was initially expecting it to be, but the violence does serve a purpose into reinforcing just how shocking and utterly disgusting this entire situation was. Judas and the Black Messiah is a deeply passionate film about a struggle that is just as resonant today as it was when it took place around 50 years ago. The performances across the board are outstanding, and Shaka King is a filmmaker who I am certainly going to be keeping a close eye on. Now, it does take way too long to get the ball rolling for the first hour, but flaws aside, ultimately I do think that it is a film that deserves to be seen. So I'm going to give Judas and the Black Messiah a 7 out of 10. Anyway guys, those were my thoughts on Judas and the Black Messiah. Let me know, have you had a chance to see the film yet? What did you think? And my question to you, I would like to know, of all the names that are floating around that could be up for Best Supporting Actor, who is your personal pick to win? I think it's almost guaranteed that Daniel Kaluuya is going to pick up the Oscar this year, although part of me would really, really like to see Alan Kim get it for Minari. I don't think he will. I don't even think he'll get nominated. But I feel like that would just... If you ever needed your serotonin levels boosted, watch his acceptance speech for the Critics' Choice Awards. God, your heart will melt. But as always, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.